Hello folks, welcome to this video, and I didn't think I was going to be talking about the WRC calendars today, but here we are. I'm going to talk about two little bits of knowledge that I've come across. One is that Rally Spain might get dropped for next season, and the other is the 16th to 19th of July next year, when we're supposed to have the Safari Rally. Now, the news about Spain comes as Turkey might keep a space on the calendar. To be fair, I think that could have potentially been because of John Todd's visit to the rally a couple of weeks ago. That seems like probably the biggest influencing factor, to be honest. And it'll be a shame. It'll be a shame. But the rumour is we'll come back as an all-tarmac event, which we need more of in the championship. The trade-off for it, well, less tarmac rides on the calendar. I've seen reports that Rally Japan might actually be a tarmac event, which will be pretty cool. And of course, with potential for Rally Northern Ireland still. Potential, that is. We haven't heard much about what's actually happening for the British round of the championship next time around. We could see more tarmac rounds, which is just something I like to see. Because, well, it's something the WRC needs. I like having gravel rallies, but I like there being a bit of an offset, a bit of a difference. And you can have so much variety in tarmac rallies as well. Corsica's an example. Germany is 3 examples at least. Maybe even 4. But yeah, it'll be a shame to see Spain go. To be fair though, I can't really think of too many other rounds that I would want to see go instead. Especially because we're considering the fact that we're going to get the Safari, we're going to get Japan, and New Zealand. Potentially. That's spectacular. I do like the idea of WRC rotating around, but I think logistically the best thing to do is just shorten the length of the events and better organise bits and pieces of the calendar. Like, if you were to have an Australia and New Zealand both on the calendar, put them back to back. It looks like, from what we've seen of rumours for the calendar, Mexico will be a couple of weeks before whichever of Argentina or Chile will be in whichever place. And then it'll be a couple of weeks between those two events, which is good for logistics because it means you don't ship everything back to Europe for an event and back over to the Americas for another event. But I don't know, I get why teams want the 2-day format. I just hope we get to a point where WRC becomes low enough cost that we can have so many rounds of 3-day events and smaller amounts of teams. Just more simplistic rounds, but the way technology is, the way the sport evolves, it's not always possible. But let's talk about Safari then. It's nice to see where it's being rumoured. I'm going to link the articles that I'm talking about down below. Well, with the Safari, it's a tweet for rumour for the African Championship. Actually, the July round will be interesting because it sits right in the middle of where the summer break was this season. Don't know if it means summer break will be put forward or pushed back, but it sits right in the middle of where it was this season. It'll be quite car braking for the heat, as the old Safari was. But by the looks of the kinds of roads that it uses nowadays, not as much of a marathon. But that's because you kind of can't do that stuff anymore. The way the world is, as well as the way the WRC has evolved to make cars as light as possible with smaller fuel tanks. Can't really expect to be doing hundreds of kilometers worth of stage. Listen, single stage. Like, these cars could probably survive with some minor modifications on them. The same kind of stuff that the rally cars were surviving 15, 20 years ago. And worse. But I think until we get to the point where we have cheaper ways to run the cars over longer distances, the only place you're going to see it is in things like Dakar, which again is quite restricted nowadays. And potentially, if I know the format doesn't allow for it at the moment, something like Extreme E, if they wanted, they could do like a marathon event. That's all I have to say for now. As you might have noticed, I've had my hair soaked through a couple of times a day. No, I've trimmed a bit. I meant to make that joke in yesterday's video, but I can't do it as well today because I'm not too well, which is why it's so reserved and brief. I don't know what it is. Maybe fresh as flu. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.